When I know, Tony, you. When you're going to I ever you the work is my mother, when it's what I know. I want anybody on. That's what desire. Oh, now what I just want. That's what desire. What you just want. I just want. And you know, and you know. Oh no, oh no, oh no. We shall take it for. Oh no, oh no. Oh, we will do this one. You will not deserve my praise. You will. Oh my God. You will do this one. We will worship you on the day of our life. Here we are. It's not have gathered to worship you, Jesus.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. So I want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. I am Afonso Zain, sort of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. We say thank you for joining us this evening hour. It's 8:06 Eastern Standard Time. I'm right here at the New England Bureau to want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. If you are in Liberia, we say good morning. Joining, I saw the gentleman say from Dupo Road. We say good morning. Thank you for joining us here this morning. Whoever, whatever you are, we say good to have you here. As usual, it's part of our community commitment to have this national, critical, painful conversation that is unfolding in our country. We need to have a conversation about it. We need to be honest about it. We need to be serious about it. We need to talk it as it is, not to create a fear, but tell people exactly the consequences of some of these bad behavior, the outcome, because we have gone down road before. And so there is nothing new, strange that people are going to be talking. People are saying it. And so we in the media industry, it is our responsibility not to add, not to exacerbate. It's not an innuendos, it's not a subliminal message, nothing of the kind, but to just tell you exactly why it is, so that tomorrow there must be a reference. It was said on this network, or they had a conversation about it. So it is important that we have this critical conversation. And in the process of doing that, we intend not to leave no one behind. It doesn't matter which side you fall, where your political line, your opinions, your view. It does matter to whether we like it or not, even if you are making a comment. That's the beauty of democracy. It comes with so much that it shouldn't just be one-sided. But we must equally allow people to speak their honest mind. And no one, whatever you say, do not allow someone to do not have that fear in you that if you speak your mind or you disagree with the host, then you have done the worst thing. No, it's about your country. And talking about a country with 16 political subdivisions, people from different backgrounds, dialects, tribes, sections, and our view, obviously, we will go through a lot. We want to say good evening to welcome. The situation in Liberia is still, we're going to have a conversation. Hopefully the analysts are here, and even if they are not here, you are here. You are the most important persons in this conversation, because they all have a side. And so all what they are doing here, they put a defense line to protect their folks, to protect their political warriors. People who they say Messiah for damned, and some of us, we are just sick and tired of that, because they come here and they become the fixers of the unfixable, right? We will manufacture some words here because this is just getting too much and too much. But the only thing is for us to have this critical and political tolerance to have this conversation. I'm not sure because what is happening. I was just 10 minutes ago. I was talking to one of the lawmakers, actually chatting, and for someone to write to say, and he said, I was beaten by the police on Capitol Hill on Monday. For a certain lawmaker to confess that, that's a lot. Is the country turning into some sort of North Korea or another Gula type of government where when people disagree with you, this is just unbelievable to see what is unfolding. What authority do they have to suspend people because of their political? This is a classical lack of political tolerance of people who tries to be politicians in the country. And they sit there, nothing happened. Sadly, and I will bring him here very shortly. One of the statements of our country on his watch, to see this country to be driven into chaos or already in chaos, engulfed with corruption, dishonesty, deception, everything makes up. Nothing is happening right. They will not say it, they will not admit it. The victims of yesterday has become the victor, and the victor has become the victim. The show is about to get underway. Let me bring in one of our senior analysts, one of our own. He's a guy, he's very tolerant, very tolerant. He will keep quiet. He doesn't, no matter how you're talking, you guys will still remain on board. So I don't know, maybe he's not in the system, but when he's incorporated, when he's in the Bellway tool, then he put on the agreement. Let me come right here and bring in my man, Jerry Bacon, is a senior analyst of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV, is joining me from next with him in proximity, right here in the city of Rhode Island. Mr. Bacon, good evening. But let's take a quick commercial break, and we will be back. As a matter of fact, some of our other programs that I heard is. We'll be back, Mr. Bacon.
Do you want to share your events with the world? Why not contact us? We are Liberia Public Radio, LPR. We are the specialists in advertisements, commercials, radio and TV services. We have the professionals that can help you sell your products and provide live coverage of all events, such as weddings, conventions, graduations, reunions, anniversaries, sports, birthdays, baby showers, religious activities, funerals, and many more. Take your phone right now and call any of the following numbers: 682-433-8802, 267-648-6089, 484-786-3337, or 916-533-2048. Our customer service representatives are waiting to take your calls and give you the needed assistance. It is LPR, the home of excellent media services, and your friends in business.
The host country, the United States of America. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, folks. Samson to Radio. I want to thank all of you. The liberals here to talk about that and they talk about that. Not any. That one before. I sent the link out already. And they put them, don't come. I give them 10 minutes out of here. And like they are going to come sit down and wait for your whole day. I tell him, Mr. So. This coming, I gave Mr. So at least till September. Reshuffle on LPR. Reshuffle. I got the power. I'm the board chair. I got the power. The power in my hand. I'm the board chair. Why can I not do reshuffle? Reshuffle? Reshuffle. God forbid. Reshuffle. I mean reshuffle, not reshuffle. I don't know about that. I want confusion. I don't here for no. Folks, I'm enjoying myself already. Reshuffle, I bet. But anyway, folks, I'm into la proper.
Got a power. What you see happening in Liberia is not in isolation. It's not in isolation. These are the talking points initiated by the liberals wing. They preach these hate messages. They have the power. Another versions of this sort of so-called majority black initiator here, and the politicians converted it into reality on Capitol Hill, and they created a political insurrection, illegally impeaching the. He's not even he was not even impeached, removing a sitting speaker of the House of Representatives. The liberal, he one of those. Those are his own words. And you see him fumble that, and he thinks it's funny. Well, let me bring in your co-host, Jerry Barkant. Good evening. Welcome to the show.
Good evening, Mr. Soul. How you doing this evening? Wonderful day. It's cold.
You're one of those that get. You're one of those that get the powers. There's no friendship here. There's nothing here this evening. You want to speak, speak. You don't want to speak. That's okay. You're one of those. You have the power. You can do whatever you want to do. Or reshuffle. That's another version of this sort of majority black that is being translated and being perfected into action by you guys. The other talking here for Joseph Boyka and your guy, the liberal, the guy who you so much close and friendly with now. That's his talking point. You didn't hear anything. You didn't hear it from my mouth. It came from out of him. Let's have a conversation here. How far are we with this whole thing that is going? What is the danger involved? I was just chatting just before coming on air. I was just chatting with one of the sitting lawmakers, and the message, he said, I was beaten. He said, one of my saddest day, like I was beaten by the police, a sitting lawmaker, just because of political differences. We didn't see anything of a violent type that warring that was beaten by Jose Newman Boyka police. This is how you guys coin it. Whoever presidency that is there, yesterday it was Samuel Doe AFL, day before it was Helen Johnson Sally police, it was CDC police. Fair to say, it's Jose Newman Boyka and Gregor Common police. Good evening.
Good evening. Welcome. Thank you for having me. I say to the northeast, it's cold tonight, and those are listening to us, wherever you are, so welcome. I'm delighted from Doru to be in the United States, so people are listening to him.
Why would Joseph Newman Boyka police beat on a sitting lawmaker because of political differences? Why? Whoever thought? Not a surprise for me, but I know it's total. I don't think that's what you voted for. I don't think that's what you vigorously campaign for people to circumvent the laws of the land. And we are seeing corruption, deception, dishonesty has swarmed this country. And all you guys do when you come here, you become the fixer, and it is just 7 months, it is 8 months, it is 9 months. You're taking us back to the history of George Weah. That's not what was preached. That's not what you guys do. Or why should you people do this to our country?
Listen, I'm not going to hear second guess whoever you talk to. They say they were beating. Show me the evidence. The mystery lawmaker that was beaten. I don't know him. I don't see him. I don't see no such evidence to exhibit here to say yes, an individual who said it. So if you show me that he was beaten, then I would address that issue. But for now, it's non-factor to me because there's no evidence and nothing I have seen so far. So I'm not going to dignify. That's number one. Number two, if you say you are a lawmaker, where were you when you were beaten by the police? Where were you? Were you in a chamber when they beat you? You outside? And, so all these things got to take into consideration. Whether you were in the street, whether you were
Mr. Bacon,
hold on.
The lawmaker works on the Capitol Hill, Capitol buildings in the confines of the building, and for you to ask because he or she was not in chamber, so police have the right to brutalize a sitting lawmaker, a congressman. Is that why you want to defend here? You want me to show you the picture?
Don't fabricate my story. I just said, where was he or where was she when she was beaten?
I said, I said,
how can somebody just come into my house and beat me? The red you must say on the show. How can somebody just come and just beat me? Where was he or where was he before your police beat him? Whether he were among a demonstrator, they were to identify him one of those that were demonstrating, and so that's what I'm asking. Maybe you were in the crowd, you were demonstrating, and you were captured. That's what I'm asking. Where was he or where was he? That's what I'm trying to find out. Show me. Joseph Burger, I don't have a police. Joseph Burger is
this is why the police has taken side. This is why.
Hold on, sir. That's an interpretation. That's an interpretation.
Liberians are so greatly
hold on, sir.
Of the conduct of this old man and the police, and even all of the security. See what it's doing. They have thwarted the complete rule, laws, and the constitutions of the Republic of Liberia. Look, I will give you a chance to talk. I'm not like your guy who sanctioned people here. I will give you the chance to talk. I'm not here. I'm not making you anything. I'm not going to add. I'm not going to subtract. I'm not here necessarily to tell people what they want to hear. I need to tell them what they need to know. That's the difference with you guys and myself. You tell people, you tell your fans, you tell your supporter what they want to hear, and you guys enjoy doing that. But because of us, for me, our independency, when we talk to real-time Liberians who are feeling the pain, who are feeling the economic situation in the country, stories and things to tell us, we come here, we say, hey, you guys will come and manufacture and reconstruct the crime scene. Go ahead.
It is unfortunate. Some right-wing conspiracy to come here, fabricate stories that the Excellency Joseph Burger police. Joseph Burger don't have a police. It's the national police, the Republic of Liberia. It's the Liberian National Police. It's just that he have to be the custodian of the police for honor his jurisdiction. So that's not his personal police or his personal bodyguard. If as a president, he doesn't have a personal bodyguard.
You're not sent for him. Let me bring him in. You saw what he was saying here. Maybe we need to go back to that tape and listen to him, what he said yesterday. But go ahead.
I don't have a personal police. You people come here, fabricate story for Joseph Burger police, Joseph Burger army, Joseph Burger security forces. No, he does not have a police officer that say do it. Look, we're not here to justify or justification for anything to say, yeah, like you said the representative will beat him. Show me the evidence. You say we talk about due process. Show me the evidence. That's why we'll go to court and say, yes, the evidence. This is say you are the reporter. Show me the evidence.
You want to talk about was there any due process in it was executed?
No. I just say listen to me and listen very well. Listen very well. Maybe you just want to hear what you want to hear. Start being selected memory. That's not good. If you pay attention, you understand what I'm saying. You speak of due process. You allege Joseph Boakai police beat or sitting representative. Show me the tape, show me the evidence. Let the individual say, yes, I will punch, I will this area, and I will beating. That's what I'm asking you. Just show me the rule of law. Not the rule of law. Show me the evidence. That's what I'm asking. That's what I'm asking. All I'm asking you tonight, show me the tape, the alleged victim, or she or he, they say, yeah, I. Show me the tip. This time, everywhere you are, you on screen. There's nothing hidden anymore. We got TV, cell phone, everywhere. Show me the evidence. Where was she? Was he in Chimwa and the police just went straight in Chimwa and said, we'll beat you or we'll beat her? No. So I just want to see the evidence. But yet, listen very well. Today, the press secretary of the Joseph Boakai have said there's a rumors have been going on. They asked on Spoon TV or Chirupit asked a question on the press secretary and said there's a rumor. And she said vividly, no, the president have never, ever undermined the speaker to say the speaker should be removed. No,
you should be ashamed of yourself. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Oh no, listen, I'm quoting. Listen very well.
The right of the presidential spokesperson to come and say that you should be ashamed of yourself. Because these people, there's a question they're supposed to ask, and they are not asking these people this question.
What is the question?
The question that is supposed to
how the question should be
the question that's supposed to be asked to even the Attorney General and Kula Fofana, who is the presidential press secretary, to tell us the law. What are the laws that say in order for the speaker
she quoted 8 or 55 or she quoted 55. 55.
I'm saying if I were in that conference, the question I want to ask her, and since you are the deputy spokesperson to Kula Fofana, you can also answer this question. What I want to know, and I asked this question the other day, the law says on the book, two things here. I'm honest, I'm not like you guys. Both sides, the minority and the renegade majority, they never have this, they do not have the required numbers per the law, the 49, to have the speaker removed. And not just only 49, it must be climaxed with a vote according to the law to remove the sitting speaker. So my question is, you, Jared Bacon, to tell us, let's turn this camera off and look in the eyes of this camera and forget who is watching, who is saying,
No, I don't do anything in the darkness. Let's be live. Not like you come here speculation that
I want to know.
So let's
I want to know.
Not do in the darkness.
Okay, I want to know, and I want you to tell me with honesty for the good of the country, what are the 4 laws that say you might have the vote of 49, and that vote, that it must be cast to remove the sitting speaker. I want to know what are those processes were achieved or they went through. So what are we saying now? The speaker was what? Removed, impinged? What category? What do you tell your people? What are they saying? The category, the place, the removal of the speaker.
But listen, the House of Representatives have their own rules that do it necessary to remove any of the colleagues who is contrary with the code of conduct, who is misbehaving, who alleged any wrongdoing. So that's the process they go through. They make their own rules. I'm not going to come here and say, hold on, sir.
It was inconclusive.
Hold on, sir. I'm not here to second guess why they're going to say why they did it. That's their own rules. The police themselves.
It was inconclusive. So was the speaker?
That's their responsibility.
Let me ask you, was the speaker?
Hold on.
You also, they have their rule. If that was just some sort of rule they manufactured because it was done politically, it was the process was compromised from all indications coming from the executive. I want to know from you as a Liberian, was the speaker successfully impinged by the 49 votes. And with that vote, you saw what happens here when people are in pain. It goes through a process. It's not something that just got 49 people get together. How do we know we get 49? How many percent voted? Did we see anybody voting there to tell us that yes, the 49 existed? No. Can you speak to that, please?
Well, your theory here is there's a conspiracy that the Excellency Joseph Newman Boakar was the plotter to overthrow the sitting speaker, which category I would deny it. He got nothing to say. The press secretary, I listened to the press secretary today, this evening or this morning, and she said Mr. Boakar was not involved in any category of impeaching the not impeach or to remove the speaker, Mr. Kofa. So that's what I can say. Like I said, the House of Representatives have their own rules that they follow, and that's their rule to follow. They got different committees that go to different committee, go to different head to make sure things are done. So they run the department, the branch of government, the way they feel necessary.
Yeah, Mr. Bako, you're not answering my question. If you're not willing to answer my question, let me go to your patron right now. I'm asking
your question.
I'm asking, was the speaker successfully to remove with that 49 votes? Is there anything, Tim? You, Mr. Evidence, is there any tip that we can go on? But I also indicted this guy in his absence and hear why I did. Since he's here, let's go back to it and we'll be right back.
It's the host country, the United States of America. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. Okay, folks, Samson told La Bro Pub Radio. I want to thank all of you. The little boys here to talk Tabata and they Tabata, not any, that why I go for. I sent the link out already. And they don't come. I give them 10 minutes out of here. And like they are coming to come sit down and wait for you all day. I tell him, Mr. So. This coming, I gave Mr. So at least till September. Reshuffle on LPR. Reshuffle. I got the power. I'm the board chair. I got the power. The power in my hand. I'm the board chair. Why can I not do reshuffle? Reshuffle? Reshuffle. God forbid. Reshuffle. I mean reshuffle, not reshuffle.
So here we are. Koga, Samuel Koga listening to you. You got a power. You're going to do a reshuffle. They did an insurrection on Capitol Hill. They listen to you. They'll hear you and they execute what you say. You just came here and put it in a different glass, but it took it at a different level. You look very guilty this evening, the liberal. Good evening. Welcome.
Let's talk because I'm good evening. You're not welcoming me. You ready? Let's talk our team. You know myself when I come to come with good evening and good. There's no how you play the kind of thing. Then you come in, then you say good evening. What is good about this evening that you introduced me like?
Hey, you got a power. You got a power. That's the power. Everybody had a power.
Yeah. So why is he saying good evening now? They says look like good evening to you. The way you introduced me, is that how? And I'm supposed to say yeah, that good evening, welcome. Let's talk. Let you talk. Let's forget about good evening business.
No, you can say good evening, but the question here is you got a power, so that's the power is given to you. You are elected as a board chair, so the power is given to he give it to you. You didn't just grab it. He just gave it to you. It was you were elected.
Yeah, but that was those things. I was just saying it, just passing time. I didn't know you were going to go and copy this thing and try to wrap the people tobacco in Liberia, wrap it around me like that.
That's all right. That's all right. You got a shovel. You got a shovel, so you will clean it up. The mess that you making, the way you got a shovel, you want to clean it up. The mess you make. So the way you got a shovel to clean it up. So nothing wrong with it. So why? If you make a mess.
Now, come to put majority black together.
Don't get mad with it, man. You got a shovel. You digging out all the mess you making, the way you clean it up. You make a mess, you clean it up. That's why you do. You clean it up.
Right now, there's a confusion in your own camp, and we don't have
No,
time.
that's no confusion. No, I just want to read it right there.
Host and co-host now.
There's no confusion. There's no confusion. The man got a shovel, he got a power to clean it up because you make a mess of what he cleaned it up, sir.
Okay.
The mess that you make of what he tried to clean up.
My Esther, that liquor talk. So let's move on. That liquor talk.
But look, anyway, I know the two gentlemen, Mr. Stone and Mr. Terry, call it. What is going on in our country? Let's be realistic. Let's get serious here. Seriously, it's a bad day. Hold on, sir. Hold on. Can I
am conducting the show. This is not, you're not doing, I'm supposed to take, this is how you can create, you want to be another
somebody.
No, but why would you tell me to hold on? I'm questioning you. You're not questioning me. You have a right to answer. And say, if I ask you, if you don't want to answer, you will expose yourself to the audience. Now, this is how you guys can go beyond the borderline and create chaos and stage a coup d'etat and things. That's exactly what you did in Liberia, in Capitol Hill, to remove the speaker. That's what you want to bring here. But here, you know, that's not going to happen. Terry, good evening. Welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Soul and Labor.
Yeah.
The celebrity, Mr. Bacon.
Yeah. Thank you for making my day, Terry, for calling me celebrity. That ease all my pain that Mr. Soul has caused me tonight. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay. You were bad. But look, on a serious note, you're going to come to your point, Mr. Bacon. But I've been talking to people of different backgrounds. I'm not as selective as you guys. You choose who to talk to, but I talk to all Liberians, making to hear their side of the story. And there are a lot of things. We saw the release from the embassy, all of that. But I'm wondering if even the national government is aware that the security of the country, whether they are concerned with respect to what is happening. Now, this lawmaker, I'm saying it, what they are doing now, they are having consultative meeting with their people in the different constituency, calling for expulsion, calling them back, the walking back, because they know very well what it was just beyond their constitutional authority. You're not just going to alienate the entire district, but the 14, 13 people that are signed with those people, as long as the lawmaker is not getting, it means you are sending to bear these people with empty belly. Are these all the principles and norms of this sort of rescue mission group would call themselves rescue team that were coming? I don't think so.
Look,
hold on. I'm coming. I want to give you guys. I'm thinking beyond the scope of the long-term precaution. I'm a free thinker. I don't really care what people are going to say because we have gone through this route before. And what makes a man vex? What makes a man shame? And sometimes people act unknowingly to the real victim or because of being a loyalist. And we saw what happened with the issue of Charles Taylor, people, the Roosevelt Johnson, and all of these people here. Now, let's remember that country is saturated with arms that yet to be accounted for. For example, we saw what happened lately. The arms are king, whatever investigation, who have them, who don't have them, we do not know. We do not know the hands these things in. And to see these kind of things
what happened to Georgia administration?
That's what I'm saying. On a George, we are administration. This government that came to power have the right to follow an investigation to know where it stops and where they can pick it up. But everything is all investigation, committee, suspension, and nothing comes out of it. What I'm saying here, what is happening now is dangerous for our country. And this old man, he needs to take that into serious consideration. When you see this kind of thing happening like this, we saw just recently here, right here in New York City, in this big country, we saw what happened here right before our eyes. The CEO of a big health organization gunned down, who happened not to be even a holder of it, but who knows what happened. I'm just saying that we have a very volatile and vulnerable society. It is important. Give me a chance. I am running the show. It's not your show, okay? It is our responsibility as host, whether you took sir or not. We must look at the ups and downs of this situation because we all have gone that road. So people got to be very careful. These people, because of their own political greed, they are doing some things
Mr.
that are
So,
dangerous for the
this
country.
is not just, you didn't invite us here. You didn't put us in here for you to have a solid dressing here tonight. We're going to have to engage you.
Listen. Hold on. What I will not accept when you come on your show, you will talk 2 hours. Nobody will interrupt you. What you can't do on your show, you can't bring it here. In fact, I'm going to go to, it was Bacon first. I believe in justice, fairness. Jerry Bacon came first. So Jerry will talk before you come to you. Mr. Bacon, if you want to waive your right to your slave master, whatever is up to you.
Yeah, I wait my right to my slave master.
Slave
Okay,
master.
then I have the right to determine where to go. So
That's
you
why you give me the opportunity. You are
you
already giving me the
I'll give
opportunity.
it to you. I will
And
take
you
it from
and
you.
you blaming you faulting Doctor Honorable the good president of the country. You faulting, but here you are. You can't even accept. You can't even accept the democracy, the little democracy here that shine on this platform. Your word, you call me slave master. He said, okay, you said, can you waive your right? He said, yeah, I waive. Then he said, no. You think that Idi Amin basically because you tall, you want to call yourself Idi Amin? Because you tall and big, you're going to call yourself Idi Amin on the show here? We're not going to take that. You think this is Uganda? We're talking about Liberia. Don't come bring Idi Amin business here. I beg
Yeah,
you,
you're the
man.
one get Liberia to be like Uganda, not me. That your
So
government.
Jerry say I should talk. Jerry say he giving me a time.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Jerry is not conducting. Jerry decided to waive his right, which is okay. Terry.
If I
So
waive
why
my
Jerry waive it right? What you saying now?
Then I will determine what next to do.
But Mr. Jerry still speaking. I think the internet is fluctuating.
No. Jerry he finished speaking.
Wow.
Jerry already take his. I don't have time for that. Jerry said he gave his right away. So you want to give your right away too?
I don't know,
but Terry say I must speak.
But
so
I
let
think...
me speak. Let me speak. Terry say I must speak. What you do now?
Jerry have the ability to plead for mercy. If he wants to do that, that's okay. When you go to court, that's how the judge gave you people. If you show remorse, then the judge say, okay, we'll give you a second chance.
You see what you doing? You calling yourself a judge? And who are we?
That is Supreme Court.
That team we got in Liberia. What's wrong with you? You think you call yourself Idi Amin? We're not doing it. You say Supreme Court or what? Supreme Court of Liberia or Supreme Court of LPR? LPR got any kind of. I'm telling you, Jerry, hold your hair. I'm sorry, your hair. I'm sorry, my man. They make you feel hair. I tell you that why you here for tonight. But let me speak. Let me say this, Mr. So. My big man tree beat Terry tree down, so I will speak. Let me tell you this here, Mr. So. We're very factual and we'll be truthful to one another. We'll come out here, we'll put fun here and there, but this is very serious business what is happening in Liberia. I told you, I said that day before yesterday, I said that again yesterday, the international community is looking. These kinds of things, they don't bode well for the leaders themselves. President Baka, just like Madam Salim when she was running campaign, they call her Harvard Tree Economics. Gonna make sure Liberia doing well. And because of that title, the international banking institution, whatever, they waived a lot of money, put us back to zero. By the time she left, we were in a hole again. President Baka and those of us that supported President Baka to be president, we will now hold ourselves and allow people to come in and make all kinds of statements that perhaps are not true. If we see anything that is not right on this platform from this government, we've been saying it and we'll continue to say it. What we will not do
is to regret, number one. What we will not do is to show disrespect. Because there are 5.something million in Liberia. And President Baka put his hands up. As we all say old, but he puts his hand up, he said, I can help you. Let me help you. And these are the way that I can help you. And we accept it for him to help us. And he's on that path. Mr. So, the fact that what is happening in the Liberian legislature process and things, none of us are happy about it. But it's not something that you can just take and try to crown it on the president here. If you do that, you will allow people to a little bit educate you on the constitutionality of the process, governing process in Liberia. But we're not going to go there. The president, if you're going to say the president should take whatever it is, blame, then agree to call him the father of the nation. Because if you call him the father of the nation, then perhaps you're going to say, forget about being president of the Republic of Liberia, but the father of the nation. Now the nation is in crisis. The president, the father of the nation, will step in. But when you say the president, then you have to also recognize that there are power of separation in Liberia. He cannot come from the presidency and try to interfere or whatever it is in the other people. You can accuse, whatever it is. But there's nothing, no evidence. You have not seen any evidence. We have not seen any kind of paper trail that say President Baka have instructed people to remove Flantin Kofa. These are all speculation. We all speculate in these things because we know Liberian politics. But I will advise and I will suggest to all of us, the system will play out. The end result might not be what we're expecting or what we might want, but we'll have to accept it. We will have to accept the end result. So if we come on this platform, let us give chance to peace. Because there are those that President Baka flock and they're still upset. And they want to now use this opportunity to try to smear the character of President Baka. And we will not accept that. And so when people come out and make these kinds of ridiculous statements, we will defend it. Now, in the process of defending, now let me end on this here. In the process of defending the character of the president, we look like, because we're defending, we're not even paying attention to some of the wrongdoing from within the administration. But if you come out here and say, and I'll be ridiculous on this one, when Chatela and a group came to Liberia to say they're coming for President Dua, if they have just left it as that, I don't believe you will have a lot of issue. But when they started targeting people started defending themselves, not defending Dole. They were defending themselves, but it looked like they were defending Dole. It's the same thing here. We cannot allow you people or people of from other areas to come out here and try to denigrate the president. We will not allow it. We will speak up against it. But if you come and say, let's...
Okay, you can carry on and carry on. We are running a show. It's not a very...
We will not defend the president.
Okay, Mr. To, I think
that is affecting our people. So please, let's talk about the present issue and forget about wrapping it around the president's neck.
I don't know. You don't have to accept it. I don't know how we can divorce that. It's generated from the president. It was initiated from the president. There are indicators. You don't have to agree with me. That's my opinion. That's my view. We also have to speak these things out. So if you want to be the legal team or fixer of the president, of course, you can go and convince me and persuade her. But we also seeing what is being played out. I agree. If the president, like you alluded to say, okay, there's a separate branch of government, then there was some sort of intrusion by the executive branch of government. Why they didn't wait for the court process to allow itself to play out, and we saw the president after asking for the extension, the next thing was to throw this budget out.
Mr. So, hold on. Let me just answer this very quickly, please.
That's not how we dialogue.
The president consulted a lawyer.
Okay,
the president have lawyers.
So,
People
okay,
who deal with
so
cases
there was
every
a
day.
difference.
And the
So there was a
lawyer
difference.
suggested to the president that yes, indeed, this is something you can do. I don't agree with it.
Why
I
he
don't
can,
agree with
why,
it.
why,
But the
what was
president
the
did not just get up one morning and say, I'm going to do this. The president followed the law.
Okay, listen, you want to be in two places at the same time. This is the dishonest part of you, man, here as well. I got to go back to the other people. I don't know the essence of consulting, because when you know you're not supposed to do something, you're going for consultation. If that consultation comes, you also should have the ability to make that sort of sound judgment, because you want it to be done, you want it to be executed, you decide to go by that sort of ill advice. But let me just bring in Jerry here. But we have to say it as it should be. Your feelings, it doesn't matter. The feelings of Liberia is better. So you guys have these people, you're worshiping, you put your lives and soul in them. So I don't care if it did any wrong for the country, it appears not to be nothing. You will be just fine. But we are just saying these are things must be avoided, because we have a very fragile society, democracy, a country. So we must do all. It is all of us responsibility, because we know when people are hurt, some people they take it differently. But for you to come here to put up such a defense line is ridiculous and it is absurd. Let me come to you, Mr. Bacon.
Yes, I will speak on what's going on. It's a serious matter in our country, and also it's a threat to the national security, especially where the so-called majority bloc suspending the other representative where there's no forum or no quorum for them to come and say they're going to suspend, or I think four or seven of them they're going to be suspended. And personally, and from my experience, it is very scary and very moving, and we have to be very careful, because we don't want to go back to that dark days again. And I think it was time for us to sit down and find resolution to this thing. It is not about power. That's why you were elected to be a representative, to find solution to represent your district and the country as a whole. And folks, it is not an easy thing, because what's going on in our country is a reflection of our country. And I hope by now there will be some leadership who will find us to come together and able to find solution to the problem, because it's boiling over. It's little by little, and it's very scary. It's worrisome. And for Liberia at this time, look what happened today. The majority bloc were holding hearing on the budget, but that's not my concern right now. My concern here is on the security matter of Liberia. Here are the reasons, because those that have been ostracized, they also had a constituent, and we don't know what is constituent going to react. So what we know now is what we know. But you always anticipate the unknown. That's what is the worrisome part. That's what you got to be thinking about. At least this what's going on in the Capitol building. We know about it. But what you're talking about almost 9 people. About 9 constituents. I don't know what the population within the constituent they are representing. What happened tomorrow when these constituents decide to rise up and demand that the people should be reinstated and they were elected and they were not given due process? So we are heading the wrong direction. I hope these gentlemen will find means to reconcile. It's not about power, who is in control, who's not in control. At least they will find something so they can come together as a nation. I pray that we'll do that. Thank you.
Terry.
Yeah,
let me bring you here. And the reason we are having this sort of conversation is not just for entertainment. These are very, very serious things. Just before you guys came on, I was just talking about Mr. Jerry, the security man. He wants proof. Well, I can't. If he sent me some stuff, if I get his consent, he just said, "I'm just sharing this information for a sitting representative to say I was beaten by the police," and according to him, just what Jerry said. They are currently not only he alone. They are currently having a conversation. What next to do? And what next to do is they are taking this to their constituency. How many persons are we talking about? Let's look at approximately the populations of these people. We know some of these people, their past history, people that they have associated with, or the kind of people that support them. Which government, what kind of government on planet Earth that we want to disrupt our own administrative function? When anything happen tomorrow, do we think we want to go to justice minister? Liberian people never voted for justice minister. They voted for the president of the Republic of Liberia. It is within the confines, it is incumbent upon the president, the commander-in-chief, for peace and tranquility to be maintained at all levels. That's what we are talking about. We are not just talking about ordinary people, we are talking about representatives, not even their staff force that they have, but the people, the constituencies that they represent. They're talking of majority black. Is this the 43, only 43 being going? Is that these 43 people, are they the ones supposed to make decisions? They should decide the fate of the country, the budget of the country. Logically, does that make sense? And that even if the speaker is removed, we're seeing the bitterness, the resentment, the ego, the choler, the koga, and all of those people, because they are in fabulous committees and they themselves want to stay. Obviously, that's what they've been doing. That's all they're doing. So who do we cry on? We will cry on Joseph Newman Boyka, because he has the executive power. When he said, gentlemen, people, stand down. This can't happen, that can't happen. Those were some of the things that we were talking about. It doesn't mean we hate the president or we don't like our country, but we try to avoid crisis. But because we Liberian, we cannot even manage we cannot even manage crisis. But let me just bring you in.
Yeah, Mr. So there are a lot going on in the country, and I do think that the Justice Minister really did not or was not supposed to give an opinion on the matter. He could have gave clarity, like I've been saying, and statements. But I also do not think that the Justice Minister interpreted the opinion wrongly. Now, this is where people confuse the situation, and they think that I'm flip-flopping because they don't understand my position. And that is why when you do not play the role of neutrality and you decide to take sides, your ability to articulate the issue become blurry. And when one is speaking what's supposed to be the real thing, people get angry and they start to insult and they start to say all kinds of things. Prior to the Justice Minister, my position had been clear that the Supreme Court was not clear on the ruling. And the Supreme Court left a lot of ambiguities in the ruling. And even the Supreme Court admitted that there were ambiguity in the law that did not provide for Speaker Kofa to compel the majority. And to add to that, many people did not watch the video when Speaker Kofa, after the ruling, when Speaker Kofa had his first sitting, when he went to sit to call a roll call before he could adjourn the meeting. He made it clear. Go back. If somebody have that video, go back, go listen to him. He said the Supreme Court told us that we don't have the power to compel our colleagues. He said it. That the Supreme Court said that we don't have the power to compel our colleagues. Now, Mr. Moses, when we were on the show the last time, Mr. Moses said something that many people did not take down. I think the second Moses. He said that the ruling of the Supreme Court was given to the lawyers. It was not for the nation. It was not for Liberian people. And I tend to agree with him. It was the lawyers that misled the people. The both lawyers who received these documents did not interpret this document to the people, to the clients. So as a result, it caused a coalition, they created a political scene in the atmosphere that distracted the whole country. So if there was going to be an insurrection, it would have been, the blame would be on the lawyers and not the Supreme Court, because the Supreme Court had already written down their opinion and gave the information to the lawyers. It was the lawyers now that were responsible to interpret. The lawyer, Arthur Johnson, told Fonati Kofa that he wanted debate. But when Fonati Kofa went to conduct a quorum and he could not, and he told the sergeant of arms, they say, oh, that the sergeant of arms go compare. Fonati Kofa said clearly, and I will post that video in the Sunday. He said the Supreme Court told us that we cannot compare. We don't have the power to compare. So it means that the Supreme Court did rule against Fonati Kofa. Now, what you see, what people need to understand is this, right? And that is why, if you listen to the statement coming from the MRC, the MRC is calling for calm and reconciliation. And I thought that should have been the role of the media. But you go on most media platforms, they take side and they fuel the populace that listen to them with a lot of confusion because they have already taken side. All right? And they fuel the populace and the people just run with it. Yeah, oh yeah, Fonati Kofa won the case, but they cannot discuss the issue. They're looking at the ruling, they cannot discuss the ruling. The ruling is in plain English. Only one word in the ruling is in Latin. But everybody confused in the country because the message, the dissemination of the information that came from the both lawyers the information was not given to the clients properly. So the clients just went and say, oh yeah. And based upon that, all the people who took side got confused and just put something in the thing. And that's what helped the horse to go into chaos. Do I believe that Fonati Kofa were removed correctly? No. The reason is simple. There were 43 men that kept attending that particular ceremony. Even though they had the signatures collected, they had the resolution built up, but when they were calling the roll call for those who fix a signature to that thing, there were other lawmakers who said they rescind their signature from their particular thing. They say they have 50, but those lawmakers were not present. And those lawmakers accused them of rescinding the signature. I even saw a notoriety of one lawmaker's signature. And it was public on TV that the lawmaker rescinded the signatures. So you cannot hold that as a means by which you're going to remove Fonati Kofa. That is where I said that I do not support that what I watched on television was justifiable enough to be equivalent to a removal. But do I agree that the way in which the interpretation came down, maybe it was too harsh by the justice minister, he sided too much on one side, but he did give clarity.
Which side he sided with? Tell us.
He sided. There were 7 things. There were several things in his interpretation that I had problem with. The interpretation he gave, he kept making mention of majority black. Majority black is a simple majority in the Constitution, but the Constitution still did not recognize a simple majority as a representative body that is a constitutional body to carry on business legitimately. He kept making mention of majority black being legitimized according to the interpretation of Supreme Court. So in that term, I thought that he sided too much with the majority black, and that was unprofessional. Yeah,
So,
that was unprofessional.
let me bring in Mr. back on here, but to your questions as to both sides for whatever reason. But we saw, to be honest, and there are multiple videos out there, we saw the bitterness on the side of this group of people who decided to take law. There's no other way that I can sugarcoat to describe, because it is just unbelievable for people who makes the law. They are unable to interpret the law, and so the Supreme Court came in and they had their own self-interpretation. Now, for Arthur Johnson, the reason Arthur Johnson perhaps just playing into his mind to say, well, they won and everybody was claiming, is that they say they were removing his client, and he knows very well constitutionally there must be a vote. And I think that's why because I was talking to a former government official who really knows how government works, and that makes sense. He said the argument here where it became a little convoluted, and the Supreme, because when you go to court, the case that you take to court, the nature of that case is what the court going to look in and all of its surrounding. Any other thing that is unrelated to that case, the court will not address it.
So
What he said, I'm coming. What he said, liberal, you people are the people that talk, sir, all of these problems we are having, you are one of those. You're going to have your time here. And according to him, what he said, that makes sense. Let me just share with you. Terry is the kind of moderate guy here for which you're hating, but, since he's a man of God, he always tries to do the right thing. What he said, and what makes sense, convincing to me, if you look at the two groups, they do not have the required quorum to sit and conduct the business as it should be. Fanatical, if I can produce a quorum, this other group, they can't produce the quorum. So it was on that case, Fanatic who have taken that case to the Supreme Court to say, you know what, whatever this, that, I only need the due process of law to allow the 49 votes to take place in chambers. If they get that 49 votes, I will move. I resign. Even though that's what we've been arguing on. But that has not been his cardinal point for which he took to the Supreme Court. And since he did not take it to the Supreme Court cannot go in back to it. And that's where they bring in this Latin war and all of that get us to be where we are. Jerry, are you what happening to your device? Did disconnect you? You blood. Jerry, can you see
the internet? I think
that Terry, not me. I think that Terry was died. Mine is all right. I can see myself.
You see, that's how they can deny. When it's not okay, they will tell you, say it's okay. These are some of the problems that we have.
I can log and come back in. I can see myself. I'm
never co-host but you. The best way to show me, man.
Oh, okay. I mean, I see your dog. I see you to the back side of it.
Now you're getting much better. So, Terry, what I'm going to do tonight, two of them going to remain. They will be in the basement here tonight of this program until they get.
That's all right.
But look, Mr. Bacon, on a serious note, you are a security person. If you look at the statement, and you can speak to whatever thing, if you look at the statement coming from the embassy, and you were to break these words down by down, the Americans, the diplomats, they speak in specific tone language that you have to really read over and over, not just only by pronouncing the word. They speak in a specific, that sort of executory tone for you to figure out what they are communicating. And they have the ability, all of the assistants all over the world, you work with them as well. Their way. They can't come and say, hey, you got to do it. But there are many ways they can strangulate you, because you know what? If they feel in as much, because we have the modified type of January 6th here, another one, that's what happened in Liberia. But they will tell you, say, okay, you know what? We can't allow our taxpayers, because where they see people rights, civil liberties are kind of being tampered with, they have serious problems. You read that statement coming from the embassy. Put it into your security incubator this evening here. What are they really telling us? What are they reminding us?
Well, let me go back And let's go back to history a little bit. 1980, when the coup took place, the first ambassador that we have was
William Swain.
William Swain, is that name? William Swain?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
William Swain.
Yeah, William Swain. Okay, William Swain. Yeah, William Swain. Yeah. And if you can recall, William Swain went from Cayman all the way to Barclayville. He was the first ambassador to travel to the places. And what happened to our country? Most of the people who listen to what people somehow were just 19, 20 years old when we started working in the government. And history tells us, and Swain was one of those that were in the PRC cabinet meeting. Far. Here we are. Folks, listen and listen very well. Our current ambassador from the United States, to credit to Liberia, from Peace Corps. So Liberian politics is not strange to him. He was Peace Corps in Bon County. He taught it for some time before he came. If you listen to his statement before he testified of his testimony he gave to the place of Liberia, not strange to him, he was happy to go to Liberia. And there's a reason. In fact, if you listen to him, he said when he left Liberia, that was motivated him to go into public service. That's how he went back to Liberia. That's one of the things. Thinking. This is what's going on in our country right now. Having gave all these historical perspective. Liberia, fasten your seatbelt. It is not in our interest. The American government is giving you a warning already. It's a warning to us. It is time to get our act together. I mean, not everything we can from the security perspective. It is time for us to get our act together. We're the adults. We are a sovereign nation. And it is time for us to, we must have our differences. But let's put Liberia first. Because, look, what happened in 1980 to 1990, 89 to 2020 or 20, the children are born within that period.
I can call, give a few minutes, I'll put the number out. Go ahead, Mr.
The children that were born within that period, they are the new generation that are leading our country right now. We don't want to do that again for our country. Let us not be selfish. Let me be blunt tonight. Let us not be selfish. It's our country. It's selfishness. Because over have not given a due process. Let's be realistic. We got 40, we got 42. We need 40, we need 49. We got what? 30. Where are we? Who is a mature person that will come and say, you know what, enough is enough. It is time for us to step in. Let me go further a little bit. What the churches, the council of churches, maybe they might have egotistic among themselves, the House of Representatives, the 14 months. The council of churches. Bishop Francis, he did it for the Liberian people. Mother Dukley intervened. It is about time somebody to bring his senator into the House of Representatives and say, look, enough is enough. I think we can take our credible or bishop from the church or council of churches. It's time for them to intervene. Maybe
besides those, I have to interrupt because this is how you politicians pull spin around the thing, and that's some of the things.
No, I'm not putting spin. Listen.
Wilhelmina Dukley being there, Michael Papa Francis being there. I'm talking now. These people, I'm telling you, you're putting me on edge here. You do not want to speak the language because you do not want to anger your base, and that's how you guys protect your own alligator. Now these people are not speaking. Who should be the big boy in the room to say enough is enough? You don't want to call that person name. Do I call the person name for you?
But that's what I am saying. This is what I am saying, sir. If the president is not taking the lead, great. That's what
Why
we
is
say
he not?
the council of churches.
The question then, okay, hold on 1 second. Why is he not taking the lead?
I didn't say he's not taking it. I said if he's not taking the lead. That's what I'm
If
saying.
he's not taking, judging on your condition, and from all indications,
I said if the president is not taking the lead, or the president is not willing to take the lead, somebody have to take the responsibility and say, for the sake of the nation.
You support this guy here for discussion purposes, judging on your condition A, which of course is a clear indication he is not, or in fact, in my own word, he has helped to intensify the situation. Why is he not taking the lead?
We all have style of governing. We all have different way of approaching issues. The way you understand it, that's not how you understand it, or the way I understood it. But I'm just giving you statistics. In order to forecast what's going to happen, you got to look at the past. I'm just telling you, these are the predictions. This is what happened in the past, and this is what I led on to. That's what I'm just saying. Somebody have to take the responsibility. Somebody have to take the torch. And if the president is not taking the torch,
I'm asking why. Is that something that pleasing you?
I'm not supposed to know. I'm not a fortune teller. Why he not taking the when he taking the study the way he understood it, the way he understood it.
Look,
figured out,
Mr. So.
Let me finish that. The way he understood it, this is how that's why he handled his leadership. I'm not going to ask him to say your leadership it is weak or this is it. But that's why he understood his leadership.
Do you agree with him of his saying not taking the lead, considering all that you have just narrated, the consequences and what we are passed through? Do you agree with him?
The consequence is greater than what we Liberians do right now. So that's why somebody have to step up to the plate. If somebody not doing it, somebody have to take on the leadership. The same way you are work.
Who you want to destiny to step out?
I just gave you. I said the council of churches. The council of churches can intervene.
They are not doing it now.
Council of churches.
This is why the train has already capsized. The council of churches not doing it. The imam not doing it.
The council of churches have not tried. There's a total fabrication. The council of churches have not spoken on the issue. The council of churches have not spoken on the issue.
You are unable to answer my question. It's a clear indication how you politicians put spin on a conversation. When you do not have answer, you go and grab things from all over because you do not want to be drawn. Let me bring in the liberal and go to the independent cattle here. The liberal, do you want to answer that question?
Well, I just want to remind you. Of course, my African attire tonight look like a wallflower, but that I'm not intent, and I will not be used as a wallflower on your show here tonight to picture me in the background as though I'm something, even though my shirt look like it. But I'm not going to allow you to do that. I just want to remind you on that. So let me just say this here, Mr. So. Let's be sincere on this thing here. President Wakai, yes, I agree, he's the father of the nation. However, President Wakai, from all indication, respect the rule and law of the Republic of Liberia. President Wakai has cabinet, and each one of the cabinet ministers has a responsibility. President Wakai, before coming out to make decisions as to whether he's going to be with a majority bloc or what have you, he consulted the lawyer of the Republic of Liberia to say, this is your job, this is your area. Can you enlighten us? And if you do give us the information, then perhaps we will form the decision to be able to follow that. He did it. He went to the justice minister, and the justice minister gave his opinion, which we all don't agree with it. But he has done his job. Now, do you want now for him to come back and say, okay, justice minister, yeah, you got your opinion, but we don't agree with it? Number one. Second, if President Wakai had made any decision without consulting the justice ministry, then perhaps we would say the President Wakai is not able to lead. But he followed the rules that we Liberians set in place. He followed the rules. Now, this is what I'm saying to you. if we're going to come here and talk about the issue of what is happening in Liberia, and we do agree that, yes, President Baka followed the rule. We don't agree with the rule, the way it went by, that I don't agree with the Justice Minister opinion. I don't agree with it. But that was just something that the president could not deviate from. He has to stay within that. If there's any legal thing that comes from the Supreme Court, who is to inform the president of what is happening, what is the interpretation of the Supreme Court ruling? It's the Justice Minister. The Justice Minister came out and said, Mr. President, that the people of the Republic of Liberia, I am your lawyer. These are the information coming from the from the Supreme Court, and this is my opinion on that. I don't agree with it. But the president did his work, and he did it well. Now, should the president now, let me throw him as father of the nation. As father of the nation, should the president take side to say I'm with a majority bloc? I don't think so. I thought after the Justice Minister had made that ruling, perhaps the president should take to the airway and say, Liberian people, this is what your lawyer of the Republic of Liberia, this is his opinion, that this is what the Supreme Court is saying. But as the father of the nation, we cannot afford to have any kinds of conflict here, and therefore, I am stepping in to talk to these people of the House of Representatives to see what is happening. I thought that would have been an excellent position. Now, let me finish. The final analysis right now, from my perspective, Consular Franti Kofa had gone back to the court. We're just going to have to wait and see. As I suggested to the consular, go back to the court. Put the Liberian people, Liberian government on President Baka, put them on trial, put the Supreme Court on trial, put the House of Representatives on trial. And Franti Kofa did that. Every one of them on trial. And interestingly, you just made reference to that, which is the letter from the American embassy, has also put every one of the three people, the three branches of government, have put them on notice that this thing must be resolved peacefully. We cannot afford ourselves to have some sort of a debacle of issues that are going to affect everybody. So with that letter coming from the American embassy, the Supreme Court will have to do some due diligence this time around and come out to clearly state exactly what it means. And if it means whatever it is they want to say, let them say so we don't have 500 lawyers, some of them sounds into who practice law on TV, on LPR. I'm not a lawyer, but I practice one on LPR for people to take my legal opinion on LPR as though this is good. We're not doing good for ourselves. But the Supreme Court is the reason why people like Samson Toe, who never stepped in the courthouse except when he was arrested and sent back to Liberia and saw the courthouse, that was the only time. Yeah, he was behind the bench. But now I'm in front of the judge because I have the ability to practice law here on LPR. Thank you very much, Mr. Stowe.
Okay. This is, my hair is spinning right. This is a bizarre, most ridiculous thing from this old man to be so much dishonest and find himself to be the Michael Cohen for Joseph Boyka here on this network is very, very sad. Keto, if you listen to this liberal, you see, he tried to connect his narrative to what Jerry Bacon Washington were just talking about here, because they do not want to alienate. Joseph Boyka broke the law. Joseph Boyka intruded into this case before even the Supreme Court. Even after that, despite of it, when president can intervene, when the court takes a decision, whatever it is, then you come in. But guess what? This was the same old man who called this man to resign, remove all of the security details, despite this man complaining that his life was on threat. And you come here, you claim to be a friend of Fanatic Kofa. But this is what happened. These people, Samson Toe and his like and other folks, they do not have a political ideology. His Liberty Party wing is completely broken down. He's politically displaced, so he's seeking refuge with Unity Party. So he's doing everything possible because his friend Nyombi Kanga and all of these people, we can all say, as soon Joseph Boycott, minister or spoke, they're all going ahead to sign without then taking into consideration the danger and how these people has compromised and disrespected the laws of the land. Keto, is there any other language that we can speak to the liberal?
Well, I was reading a book the last time, and I saw this quote in it, and it says, either way you turn 689, it's still the same. You turn 689, the number 689, you turn it upside down, it's still the same. Meaning, Mr. Boishen, Jerry Bacon, and the Labour wannabe celebrity, they are trying to save face because they put the character.
Business Kanye tonight. I'm a business Kanye tonight. Why were you coming want to be celebrity? I am a celebrity today. What?
Yeah, okay. If you're a celebrity, people can call celebrity.
They want to be celebrity. The Labour, when I'm speaking, I'm on the floor. Can you talk for almost 10 minutes? I interrupt. Tapata upon tapata. So let me just give my own aside. So Labour, Mr. Boishen, and the pastor came on this show time and time again to give us somebody they know nothing about. I don't know if Terry have ever seen Boaka before in his life or know anything about Boaka. I don't know if Mr. Bakum Boishen have ever met Boaka and sat with him and talked with him. Never in his life.
Boaka was in your house a few days. So he probably
apart from the campaign, I don't know if the Liberal have ever seen it. But the Liberal admitted on this show that I don't know this old man, but I just like it now promoting. For them to come back today to tell us what they did was wrong to Liberian people is something that is haunting them in the closet. I can see the Liberal in my dream, sitting in your closet crying. What did I put my people through? I can see in my dream, Brother Soul, sitting in the closet. Sometimes when he's in the car driving, looking at the bridges that he helped to construct, his mouth will run up, just up walk out like, oh, let me take time because I don't know what I said to Liberian people.
You confessed that to me.
Yes, I don't know what I said to Liberian people. I saw the Liberian people picking bag. They bought that pig. I saw the Liberian people buy brother. They bought it. And I do not have the face to come back to tell them that, look, we made a mistake. This old man, he's not competent. He's inept. He has no idea of leadership. They're not able to come and say it. So let me tell you the good news here. The Liberian people are waking up. And on Tuesday, they're going to start alarming the bell. So Liberal can get up and start to talk to this man they call president of our republic. When I listen to Mr. Boishen Bacon, blame everybody else except the president, then I wonder who is in control of our society. This man we voted for, we campaigned for, people died in Foya. They were mocked to death because of Joseph Boaka coming to power. But yet we putting blame on people around him, lawyers. We say the judge or the justice minister. This man, before he come and make decision to the nation, it's not justice minister making decision. That President Boaka. Because the thing Liberal taught Jenna, it made me to start questioning. I said it's good Liberal going into politics. He went into engineering, so I qualified to be a professional engineer. But politics, he's a flunky. I will give him F, triple F.
Okay.
For what he just said.
Let's go to Terry, but let's watch Liberal in his own word.
Things are getting out of hand in Liberia. I'm not too sure why, but from everything that we've been reading, it doesn't look good. It seems like people are just taking matter into their own hands. I'm not too sure.
I'm not too sure.
And someone like me, one who supported this government during the campaign heavily here on this LPR platform. We were accused of coming from the southeast and then going all the way to support somebody from the west, from Lofa County. Yo, crime, man, why you supporting Lofa County? Because I believe in the Lofa County. I believe he has the ability to lead us. People still calling me and say and make comments like what you say now. There was no comparison. The young man who was from the southeast were failing or has failed completely. So when the campaign time came, I lifted his policy and I lifted the promise policy from the man from Lofa County, and I fell with him myself. That the man from Lofa County policy was something that I need to talk about, something that I need to support. And I did that. So those of you that are calling me, continue to call me. Why you say now? I have no regret. You can call me for another judgment day. I have no regret.
The act of defiance and vehemence in their actions. That's the liberal progressive.
It's a contradiction.
Why?
It's a contradiction, brother. So from the beginning, he felt discouraged. He felt completely.
They were not asking you. They were talking to Terry. Why are you jumping inside for that?
I want the floor. He was confused because look at the contradiction. The beginning of that tape, he confused. He said his president, he don't even know what's going on. It's a complete mess. And at the end, he said he don't care. He can do it again and again.
People accountable here, whether Lee hosts or whatever. Liberal, are you okay? I'm not hearing you.
Carry on your show. You did. Just carry on your show. Don't worry about me. Tonight you turn your camera on me. That's okay. Because you're trying your best for my majority block that I have to turn against me.
But
it's not going to work.
You get on my God.
Mr. Bond, what happened to your head?
You're talking Tabata. That's what I'm meditating. You're talking Tabata. That's the whole thing.
I know. Why you turn your camera on me tonight for what?
Every talking Tabata. That's the whole thing. So let me say everything.
People can forget. We people a reminder. But look, Terry.
Yes,
this is serious. Is the damage is already been done, or can it be fixed? To see where we are right now, they're trying to expel people, walking back their statement, and all of that. Come on, who is really who is in charge?
But Mr. So,
he brought man. Therefore, he left him off from I don't know where he lived from Dupo Road, coming all the way. He left him all straight to Capitol building.
Mr. So, what is it? The American ambassador said it all. He said some kind of word he used that he said democracy have challenges. Democracy have challenges. And it is good that you accept it. It's not going to be perfect, but you can make it work. Because while the Americans have seen that Liberia have evolved, they have progressed since 20-some more years ago. Liberians have been able to manage themselves democratically. So we are a young democracy. We have to celebrate ourselves. And the aspect of people maybe looking down on JMB, who else looking down on JMB except those who are heard from the flocking JMB getting few months ago? And the liberal have the right, to express his disappointment, which we normally do on the show, and we normally do. But since then, have you seen Keto express disappointment in President Weah for all of what he brought upon us, the Liberian people? But they defend President Weah and all his errors. And they are thinking that his popularity will give him the presidency 2029. Even if Labour joined the team, I will come on the show and tell you how he will lose the elections. Because he again making poor judgment. We talk about people trying to demonstrate on Tuesday. It is the right for peaceful assembly under the Constitution. Does that mean it's going to affect any process that was adjudicated by law? Certainly not. Did the Liberian people not protest under President Weah government? They did. What did President Weah do? He brought the hot water and wasted it on the people. Did you remember that, Keto? What did you say to that?
Someone could fire you.
Terry, are you there?
Internet. The internet. That is why I do not like to hear them talking about old
Believe it. They man who got some kind of picture behind look like Lucifer. He say, "Hold on, go fire you and your internet go up, Terry."
I tell you, that one Esther said, "God, not hearing my prayer." Maybe she right, but because men like Keto will just blow breeze and my whole internet. But Mr. So, please allow me to read this. Please allow me to read it. Simple majority, Article 33, the most contentious, article in the whole saga of the representative. It says simple majority of each house shall constitute a quorum for the transaction of business, but a lower number may adjourn from day to day and compel the attendance of absent members wherever the House of Representatives and the Senate shall meet in joint session. The presiding officer of the House of Representatives shall preside. Now, this is the ambiguity here. In this it never said that the presiding officer should preside over the simple majority. It just said simple majority of each house shall constitute a quorum to transact business. So the ambiguity there is that it never said the presiding officer should preside over the simple majority over the simple majority or the minority or the minority group. The only time it made mention of the presiding officer presiding is when the Senate and the representative come into the joint chamber to meet. The presiding officer shall meet. I wanted to read 49, but we don't have the time. But when you read Article 49, it discloses to you the presiding officer shall preside, but it says something very important, and that is what the majority black took advantage of. It said a two-third majority by a cause with a resolution. It didn't make mention of vote. It didn't make mention of vote. And in as much as I do not believe, in my opinion, that they proceeded rightly, this is the reason where I hear that people say Fernando Kofa told some of his people from his block to join the majority block and put the signature to the resolution to remove him, because he felt that they were going to come under his gavel and then they were going to change the narrative. If that really happened, then it was one of the most foolish decisions that were ever made by the honorable man. Thank you.
Okay, before I go to back on, you're going to have enough time. Let me go to this caller. Caller, good evening. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Caller, are you there? Hello?
Yeah, hello? Hello?
Yeah. What's your name and where are you calling from? Go ahead.
Yeah, this is Prince Sharif. I want to thank you so much, and I'm following the show. I hope to spend time so that we can listen to other panelists. I have been here for a while now listening, and I hope to participate fully tonight. I have cut off my job so that I can be here, so that we can sharpen some of the contradictions that are coming out, and we can ensure, like our brother has been doing adequately on the show, Honorable Keto. And I want to say salute to you for your continuous effort in making sure that some of the mis and disinformation, they are adequately eradicated from our society and also from this particular landscape that has been given to us by Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, and made popular amongst the Liberian people by His Excellency President Dr. George Maya Weah. I want to say thank you so much, and we appreciate you. Mr. So, thank you for always giving us the opportunity that we can use this platform to exercise our God-given right and our constitutional duty to agree in order for us to disagree. I want to say thank you. And I always listening to our father, Mr. Bacon, the analysis. Very fun man, whenever he's analyzing, I sit down with my pen and my paper and I take down some important points for him. I want to say thank you, sir. You are one of our proud, and we are proud of you. The work that you do on this platform and the analysis that you provide is something that all of us, are benefiting from. Thank you. And to the Honorable Terry Collins, I also want to appreciate you for everything. And to my own Pabe, he's a two. Okay. So, having said that, I want to say thank you. With this issue that is under discussion, as it relates to, the speaker and other issues, I think people appearing on this platform will have to be true to power. You don't have to agree with the CDC. You don't have to be a citizen to acknowledge that over the period, despite of the difficulties that we had as a government, but we did everything to ensure that the rule of law is respected, that the executive will have nothing to do with using the executive power to manipulate its way so that it can have almost like an autonomy in Liberia or in the governance system. That did not happen under His Excellency President Dr. Weah. Today, what we are seeing, and for the fact that people like our brother, the Honorable Collins, will not be able to call this government out, name and shame with all of these things that are happening, we are taken aback. And we think that people like my own brother Collins should be the one calling out this government because they support this government, like we did yesterday in our own government. But to see this government proceeding in error, to see Joseph Nimo Breka calling the speaker and doing everything to the extent that his hands are now caught in the cookie jar. That one, but his hands are not caught in the cookie jar. What this issue is at the Supreme Court, Mr. Breka is now calling the speaker and telling the speaker, "Oh man, we're begging you. We're getting $3 million. Please go and say that." This is one of the most terrible crimes that can ever be committed by a president. The act of Mr. Joseph Nimo Breka is treasonable. And there's the reason why we will be writing our international partner to ensure that Mr. Breka is called to order. You cannot do this. It is purely unacceptable. From the beginning, even Honorable Fonati Kofa himself denied that the Honorable President, when we said from the beginning that Mr. Breka was involved in this, he said, no, the man is, and I see no sign for me to be able to deduce that the man is. But look at today what is happening. And to the extent that people who supported this government from the beginning up to now, they are not calling out this government, they are not lashing at this government. We are taking aback at this. It is unfortunate. We are here in the United States. You are not depending on the pockets of Mr. Joseph Nimo Breka to survive, Honorable Collins. You are not depending on him to give you a job. You are a professional person. It is here that you should call these people to vote.
In 10 seconds, Prince, wrap up. There are other callers coming in.
We are surprised. So we pause here. Yes, sir.
All right. Let me go to Mr. Jerry Bacon as well. We make it news, fair, balanced, and proportionate. Mr. Bacon, the contrast.
Yeah. Thank you. Now you're playing as a complete moderator of the show. Now, thank you so much.
That's what I want. That's who I am.
Let me come to my brother, Connecticut. I respect that state, and I expect somebody who comes from that state intellectually they should be able to articulate their position. Yeah. Let me ask you a question first.
Oh, God.
You're going general election in the United States. You voted? If so,
Yes,
you don't
I
have
did.
to call it. Okay. Do you know any of the candidates?
Yes, I
The
do.
two candidates, Donald Trump and Harry. Do you know any of them?
Yes,
You know them intimately. You know them personally.
I'm personally from afar.
Okay. Okay, then you make my case. We don't have to know Boakai personally, or we don't have to sit with Boakai on the same couch. But personally, yeah, I know Boakai. I've been knowing Boakai for almost 20 years. Let me speak for myself. I know Boakai personally. 20 years I've been knowing him. So it's a father figure to me. I know him personally. But that's not the issue here. The issue we're talking here is governance. That's what we want to do. It is our country, no matter how what party, whether you belong to the right or you belong to the left, it's our given right, it's our country. What I've been saying here is, look, and I will say it again. If the leadership, the council of churches need to step in, they are respected within our community, even in the great United States here, it's done here as well. So look, what the U.S. embassy say. I mean, we are a sovereign nation. I agree with it. I mean, that's an opinion. They're entitled to say what they want to say. They can't dictate to all what to do. It's a democracy. They didn't say 14-year democracy in this play here. Look, Donald Trump want to try it. So it's not perfect. They didn't say stay fighting for democracy in this country. Stay fighting for civil rights in this country. The civil rights is all perfect. No. But here is the point. We as a Liberian, we have to learn how to solve our problem. We have to learn to solve our own problem, regardless what it is. I always say on this show, the Supreme Court has spoken. It is time for us to sit as individuals to say the Supreme Court, let us respect the court, because that's all we have. You will not agree with the opinion. You will not agree. In fact, law is propagated. It's not 1 + 1 = 2. But the Supreme Court had, like Mr. Soul said, if you go to court and say Jerry slapping, that's the one that would deal with. Then I say, oh, why this? They no. What's his name? The speaker. If you got any other concern, go back to the court to address other issues that you might have. But why you brought before the court can't tell you how you must present your case. No, he's a professional lawyer. You should know better. So all we need is let's have our head together and make sure our country is heading in the right direction rather than to go into pandemonium again. That's what I have to say for now. Thank you for giving me the opportunity, Mr. Soul. Without interrupting me, you did excellent well without interrupting me. Thank you.
My interruptions is based not to leave my audience in doubt, because when you're kind, your tabata, don't want to make sure and hold you. Let me see here. I know there's other number coming in here. Mr. Collins, your name been mentioned many times yet. You want to come in?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. So, for that. You see, I like one of the seditions that I really admire is the one who just called. You know, I always follow his show.
Go ahead, Terry.
I always follow his show Nicodemously, because he tends to be very mature and he conduct himself, with respect. And but the only thing I have problem with them is that many times on the show, Mr. Sue can attest to it, I lash at JMB. We have been here. We're not waiting for 1 year to pass. In 3 months, when JMB messed up, we lash at him. When that thing talk about that were on the show lashing at them. I have said multiple times, and even in recent time, I lashed at the Justice Minister for giving an opinion to the Supreme Court opinion. And my position still stands that the Justice Minister put the government in a compromised position, thereby making everybody to see that the government was involved in the removal of Honorable Speaker. I said it on the show. I don't know how much you want me to go. You understand me? We have been here to tell the government that you're not proceeding rightly. You understand? If the president would have done this thing behind the scene, which I don't want him to do, I've been here. Mr. So said, why the president can get involved? I said the president can get involved, but let him not come to do it before everybody. Now you see the propaganda they carry. He called for Nati Kofa. They went to go discuss the new schema that he told for Nati to resign. So all these things, they are used politically and they are tantamount to cause insurrection. That is why you, as a leader, you have to play your card with professional behind the scene. So, Mr. Sheriff, the problem I have with seditions is that they do not acknowledge CDC error, especially President Weah's error. They don't do that. You understand? And that is the problem I have with them. I never said President Weah was a bad man. President Weah, in his humor, people got all the things. You've been on the show, you will never hear me one day insult President Weah. I have never done it. I gave President Weah high respect because he's one of those who put Liberia on the map. Even I was saying on the show that if the way for Nati was fighting his battle and President Weah was to go give that Ballon d'Or, I would have recommended that he go to give the Ballon d'Or. People were saying that, oh, why the president had to go to the Ballon d'Or and so on. The problem I had with him was after he delivered the Ballon d'Or, he remained in Europe. He didn't come back home to attend to the business politically that, when his speaker was being contended. That is the problem I have with him. But that Ballon d'Or he gave over there in Europe, what did it do for Liberia? It put Liberia on the map again. It brought our respect internationally. And that is what I love him for. But what I cannot stand about his leadership was his poor leadership in regards to seeing his people causing problem and havoc on the Liberian people, and he took no major action. So okay. I said to Liberal here that
so let's wrap up from the phone. Let's wrap up from the phone lines, and then I'll be coming back to you guys for the closing statement here. Breakable, let's hear you. 1 minute, please.
Yeah. Thank you for the show. You know, when I listen to Terry Sudan, it can battle, it can very performance. Terry, when you be so fair to yourself and do politics and for what campaign into the campaign for you. Did you listen to what you said? That President we are done with what put us in or you take that in. Could you imagine? Terry, you say that thing? When you saw people a fool, giving a fool. You get go by your partner. You go by the whole street. You can take the machine. You may put a car there, stay on the car. No, you're hearing him. Are you seeing that, Martin? I mean, you got to be fair. I know what the president say already. Or if the president say, President Napara, listen. Everything that happens in our country, the president is 100 times away.
Okay.
The thing that happens. If the president is interested in it, and now if he's up, no tape, no snake can move without a tape, without a hair. Everything that happens, the president knows about it. The president not only about it, but now it is this.
All right.
You got to leave it and not that control where you move.
Thank you.
So those are two movies discussing.
All right. Bye.
Thank you.
Peter Balason be speaking parables, they go with he, now go with J, and all of that. Clarence, let's hear you.
Hey, good evening, Mr. So how you doing?
Good. How are you?
When our brother from the Sacramento tree, when he come, they show trying to defend the power regime.
From where?
Because Russia, they carry on our country. The way they treat us Liberian people, just say that Liberia or living on their farm, they can sometimes bother me. How can these people talk about the rule of law when they are saying occupying some of the property that the law has ruined the person's favor? The CDC headquarters that today, they don't want to move. The law has given the whole or the property, but they are still saying that because they want to use violence. Thank God that their government is not a violent government. That they are not using the state police, the state men are not using the state police, or they are not using the state police to call out in the country. How can people talk about the rule of law in the country? Today, the country is stable. People are going to bed in peace. Regardless of what is going on in the House of Representatives. We don't support the removal of Francisco illegally. But when they come on, they show you they should have a conscience that today Liberia is somehow respected in the international community. the US ARD invited our auditor in a country near America. Yesterday, 5 of our auditors got murdered in our country. So what kind of rule of law they want to talk about here? But the country, to me, the issue of going on, not only look back to the council of church, Mr. Barker, but the council of church, we had a leader from the traditional council. So what is the new head for the traditional council? Are they sending them to see on the 24 and 5 before they will come out and say that they are entering in the country? This is the time that we need peace in our country. The noise is getting too much in our country. So if they think that demonstration is getting that blackout government, you can scare already without saying that you can't protest. Protest as well. It's your right, it's a constitutional right. You like I say, you can take 4 5 and join the protest, but the next day the government will come back to power.
Okay.
You're safe for it.
Thank you so much.
But there's not peace in our country, not all preach about peace. But somebody be talking about violence in our country, and see a threat from the country. Thank you for the show, Mr. So.
Thank you so much. So who causing the problem right now, Clarence?
The problem is they are the one that is inciting the people that is inciting the violence that is CDC people because they're talking about we can't protect. The fact that the matter, I support Fonati Kofa, but all the violence that be going in the House of Representatives are not being from majority ground. Are being coming from Fonati Kofa group. Don't say the truth.
Okay.
Only that are being breaking door down, and when they not see the group from majority group breaking door over there, destroying the government property over there because of power.
Thank you so much. Don't let pressure go up. Okay, Victor, let's hear you, and then the last caller, and then we'll go back and allow you for closing remarks. Victor, let's hear you.
Okay, good evening, Mr. So, and good evening to the panelists. So I've been following the show this evening. It's very fascinating. But I just want to make 2 quick points. The first one is, I'm not here to bash on Brother Terry, but I just wanted to say this to him. If you are saying that other journalists are taking side, and you, on the other hand, kind of saying like you yourself be taking side, then it's a contradiction. That's 1. 2, our resolutions is the same as a vote. If you look at the process of the election in the House for the speaker that has not been recognized by a lot of us, their colleagues, after it was put on the floor for them to vote for a speaker, when the question was asked or motion was raised, whether they should, even before the election, whether they should just raise their hand, yea or nay, to remove the speaker, one of their colleagues said, no, we should vote by saying yes or no. And the majority, which is the 43, did not agree with the group who joined them and the next 2 days. So a resolution is the same as a vote. That's what I want to say. The second thing I want to say is that we cannot be bashing on journalists for speaking their mind. A representative called on a talk show in Liberia yesterday on OKFM. Julius Jesho, who is the majority black leader, representative, what is his name, from Koga. Because the journalists decided to give his point, which was a very good point. If you guys are saying Kofa should resign or Kofa should give way, how can you guys be marginalizing the 29 other representatives? For me, it's unfair. It's like you trying to push them away, even if they committed a crime. The House rule said they must be investigated. We've been watching it. There was no investigation of those 7 lawmakers that have been suspended. You just went ahead and took a vote to suspend them because you think you have the majority. So if we want peace, or if we want the rule of law, as they claim they are following the rule of law, they should do the right thing. You know, they should do the right thing.
Okay.
And lastly, before I go, Mr. Prince Sharif have not one day in the last 6 years condemned President Weah. So for you to come be comparing Kerry or other people who support President Barker to say this is wrong and that is wrong, you are not a good messenger, Prince Sharif. You are not a good messenger for this program for tonight. You have a good night. Thanks for the show.
Oh my goodness, Liberia. Okay, 4433356. Are you there? 1 minute, please.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I am here, Mr. Smith.
Oh, yeah, I know Mr. Kia coming from Virginia.
Yeah, Mr.
But-
Kia, hold on 1 second. After the 443 number that
right,
you come in.
right.
Yeah, 1 second, please. Yeah, go ahead. 3356.
Yeah, this is Prince Sharif. You prefer the other caller going ahead, or you want me to go ahead, sir?
It doesn't
This is
matter.
Prince Sharif.
What I said, it doesn't matter whoever go, but just make a final comment and I will wrap it up.
All right, thank you, sir. Now, as enshrined in Article 17 of the 1986 Constitution of the Republic of Liberia, it gave every Liberian the right to be able to assemble and call on their respective representatives or whoever, or petition the government and other functionary of the government whenever they have issues to redress their issue, their grievance, and etc. We want to state and we want to be very clear. We will protest. I listen to the Honorable Clarence, and I respect your view that today now protest has become something that is demonic. Whether you like it, you not like it, we will ensure that Article 17 is protected and is exercised by every Liberian under this particular government. Whether police agree with, court agree with, we will have that particular protest. I'm listening to people, and let me say this, Mr. So, whenever you have the executive trying to use every means to subdue the rule of law, that is a recipe for chaos. Today, I expect people to even be thanking those who want to use the constitutional means to protest. People need to be thanking them and collecting money for them and be clapping for them because why? They want to use the constitution to ensure that the right thing is done.
All right, Prince,
Instead of what Mr. Broker is doing, where he is disrespecting the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court told him that only lead the people then with any position. He said, no, you will not lead it in case you disrespect the Supreme Court. If Mr. Broker will continue to disrespect the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court, that is the supreme area that we can run to for redress, if the Supreme Court will not be able to exercise its function. Remember, in the Constitution, it says all power is inherited in who?
Okay.
It says the people.
All right, Prince, thank you so much. We're already out of time.
To end on this, we will force this government of Mr. Bueta, we will force this government to respect the law. Send the court many to respect the police and every other international community will not many to respect the law. We will enforce it, and that's why we protest on Tuesday. Will be us, our children, our wives, our boyfriend, our girlfriends will all be us to ensure.
Thank you so much. Julius, let's go. Let's get a last caller for the next.
Yeah, I want to talk to lawyer thing. I'm coming out there, show man. But thank you for taking my call. Look, the American people have a song. They say, "Don't stop nothing, there will be nothing." Like I started, that the diaspora library are talking. Everybody talking. Say you want to talk, like bro, will be talking. I know nobody who go and shoot you at each other. Go talk. You started something. You want to see the speakership. The young man said, "He will give you the speakership. You have your 49." Y'all said, "No, you want to use the executive power to take the young man out." And then you don't expect us to talk. We can't keep quiet. The next thing when something break out in Liberia, guess who suffer? Our family suffer in Liberia. So we have to talk. For me personally, I know they're waiting for Trump to get into power so they can respond to that program. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay. So guys, all right, let's go back to the line for our closing statements and argument here this evening, and I'm going to throw this and then you can wrap it up with the closing. Let's do a brain teaser here, and there are a lot of good history here. So I want to know here the impeachments of the president. Let's say there was a conversation on the floor and it's because it's staff on the House. The impeachment of the answer the question, right? The impeachment of the president. Where does it start from?
Well, all depends the case or the charges. It can start from the House. It can start from the Ministry of Justice. The two people can file no complaint, even as a citizen as well. So there's no limitation to say who filed charges against the president. It can start from anybody.
But more or less,
any citizen can do that.
Yeah, they can do it, but ultimately it goes before both houses, correct? That's where I can file it here. It has to be deliberated by the both houses, the lower and the upper.
That's what I'm saying. If you can file it, you can file the complaint. It will go to the Ministry of Justice. The Ministry of Justice will refer it to the House of Representatives. If the House of Representatives find matter to, then they can impeach it and they can send it to the Senate and send it as a jury who will do the final decision to get the president out.
So the middle of the essence of my drive to question here this evening, I think one of the persons said, which of course, for the 3 years they can conduct business, but they cannot conduct impeachment process on the floor. So I'm wondering here, with this 43 here, majority black, is it logical? Is it constitutional? Is it acceptable? Is it normal that if 43% comes out tomorrow from in the lower house and say we want to impeach the president and they have that majority? Is that something that's going to be accepted? You think? Would that be a good idea? Would it be applicable or would rewrite it?
No, it's not. No, from my opinion, no.
Okay.
No.
But is it okay now?
I said no. I've been saying it. No. I said, Mr. Kofa had
but can the representative only the representative impeach the president?
They initiate. That's where it starts from. No other group, no other people.
Yeah.
The impeachment of the president, it starts from the House. If it passes, and then if the Senate concur with it, then that's good. But it requires 2/3. Only the 43, well, they can conduct businesses, they can do anything, but they have
the majority
not impeach people, and it applies as the same with the speaker. That's where the whole jamboree comes from. But let's make our closing argument, Mr. Bach. Who wants to go first? The liberal is having a bad night here. I can see him rolling all over. He's having a very horrible night here tonight.
I want to go first so I can excuse myself quickly.
Papi?
Why is that?
Yeah, I see.
Thank you.
Tired.
Wonderful show. Good night. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you guys Monday.
I was a true video tonight, Mr.
Thank you for the show. Beautiful show. I'll see you guys Monday.
Wow. Okay,
Mr.
what's your closing statement?
Yeah. Terry, you want to go? You want me to go? It doesn't matter. But anyway, here's the point.
I can go. No problem. If you want. But okay, so this guy was saying something here, right? Talk about what is a resolution. A formal expression of opinion or intention agreed on by a legislative body, committee, or other formal meeting, typically after a vote. You understand? So a resolution is not a vote. It's an agreement or an opinion that have been voted upon by a body, by a legislative body. So the Constitution provides that by 2/3 majority of a resolution. So once you put your signature on that particular document, it means that you have voted already, that you have voted for the resolution to be admissible and apply. That is what it is. So the way the Constitution positioned it, and that is why I was looking for the American Constitution on how they remove the speaker, because the American Constitution of how they remove the speaker is different from the Liberian Constitution of how they remove the speaker. And that is why people have been conflicting. Not every law, there are slight differences in the law. Not every law is the same in America and Sunday. In American Constitution, I don't know if they have a law of the Article 49 is not even explaining anything about how they remove the speaker. There's a whole process you can go and look at it. It resembles our own, but it's not the same. So a resolution is not people gathering and they, I'm voting. No. So that is the reason why these guys are arguing that the action was legitimate. But do I believe that the action was legitimate? No. Because in my opinion, even if you have a resolution, it should be attested, or each one who placed the signature on the document should be bold enough to say, yes, sit in session and Sunday. But I witnessed that there were other representatives who resented the signature, who were resending the signature and saying we did not agree. And I thought that based upon that, it did not constitute that they meet the 49 requirement by Article 49 to remove the speaker. That is why I still recognize Jay Fonati Kofa as speaker. And to the issue of many people say, oh, Terry, you seem that say, first of all, I'm not a journalist. You say I'm talking about a journalist then, and then it seems like I'm starting. Am I a journalist? No, I'm not a journalist. A journalist is supposed to exercise neutrality. That is why Colette today was showing journalists who on the payroll and other things. Journalists supposed to exercise neutrality. I am not a journalist. And both my analysis on this show have been on the basis of what I have been seeing in the past and now. And I do acknowledge that Speaker Kofa remains the speaker. My position was, Speaker Kofa, if your majority of the people in the House say they don't want you and you cannot conduct a quorum, why hold the country hostage? Resign. The sedition say no, do not resign, because you know what? When you resign, we'll not be able to use you to destabilize your government. And that is what I stand against. But I still recognize Speaker Kofa as the speaker. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you so much. Ketra, let's go. And Mr. Barker was saying,
yeah, so thank you, brother. So, I like my brother Terry. The contradiction too much in his statement. You come with a definition of resolution, and then you contradict it. The resolution is clear by definition. So the process of the resolution is, prior to those guys forming the whole resolution, they have to take a vote. When you read that statement or the definition for resolution, and that, of course, that's what the Constitution provides, that they should take a vote. And how that vote come about? After they give the speaker due process, they will go and take a vote after when they gain due process, meaning they do an investigation and they found out he was guilty or whether he's not guilty. They will take a vote. And after that vote, if they come out with 2/3, that becomes the resolution to say, we don't want him, he gone. That's the whole due process there. It didn't go that way. They start soliciting signature is different from resolution. If you take signature of people around, it's not the process. You have to sit in the chamber, you have to go through the process, and after the vote, then the resolution take effect. But let's come to this dysfunctional government. I don't care how we look at it, whether it's 1 year, whether they're speculating that it will go 2 years and it will be better, or 3 years. You guys voted that you guys were confident that Mr. Bwaka was the most experienced, the man who has all the integrity, and the man who could deliver and rescue Liberia. And the man, before he become president proper, we saw corruption creeping in. And it creep in like on a small note. It creep in very high. Almost $1 million was stolen from the Liberian people covers, from pension people money to buy vehicles, from the instruction of Joseph Bwaka, to the extent where two of his supporters, strong supporters, asked for this man to resign. Joseph Bwaka is yet to get out of his office, crisping. We should talk about that. We should talk about the censoring of journalist voice. Look at what happened with Julius Jet. I sent the audio to everybody in our chat room. Koga, who threatened Julius Jet because Julius Jet was giving his analysis about the situation. They are confused. There are people who continue to do the wrong thing and expect the Liberian people to sit down. The more we continue to sit down, there will be more atrocity. They will be crucifying our Constitution. They will be doing all sorts of things. I think it's about time that Liberian people stand up for the Constitution and protect the peace of Liberia, or else we will see our country falling backwards again. Thank you, brother. So,
thank you so much, Mr. Bacon. Say awesome.
Wait, no, come back. I want you to listen to me. Hear me well, very well. Yeah.
How you do?
Network.
You let to listen to
I'm
people.
listening to you. I'm
I
listening
want
to
the
you.
network to be fluctuating while I'm talking. But anyway, you will hear me. I want to see face to face when I'm talking. But anyway, let your network be fluctuating. That's the one that will hurt you more. You know, for you to come here and fabricate story, that is wrong. Mr. Wilton Carter.
I'm here listening.
CDC. COVID money. $35 million. It's not counted for. $35 million. It's not counted for. You want me to go with the list? And, you know, so yes, $35 million.
Go with the
It's not
list,
counted
Mr.
for.
Basham.
It's not counted for. I come with $35 million. It's not counted for. Today, there's no accountability of that money. Then let me come to our CEO. I got a laundry. I got a laundry list. CEO, for you to come here and tell Boyka police, are you forgotten? Sedition? Or no CDC? What did they? Manufacture guns. Let me say guns. What? June 17. That June 9 or June 17. Riot. Demonstration led by Costa. They told the car they found guns.
June 7.
Yeah, June 7. Okay, great. June 7. They took the car from in front of the mansion and they brought it to the police station. Yeah, Greg Coleman to get a flashlight, put his gloves on, and planted a gun broad day. Say, you're going to find the thing. What did they? They arrested, what is their name? Yeke Koluba went to court and he was unarrested. Under the leadership of Josh Weir, Musu Scott was arrested. It's unarrested. I'm going to keep going on. For you to come here and say, these are the things on a boycott administration. Boycott, I have 5 charges on your former Minister of Finance. The case is still before the court. How many persons you are sent to court to say unprosecuted based upon political ideology? Silence people. Then you want to come here and tell people about boycott administration, injustices? You should be ashamed of yourself. However, Costa, we talk about silent people. Costa, what happened to Costa when he ran away? Go through Freetown to come to the state. You want me to open the value? You want me to open the suitcase tonight? Probably if I open the suitcase, we're gonna be here for the long. Huh?
Go ahead, open the suitcase.
No. I will reserve for another one. When you go for trial, you don't give everything to the judge. You give it piece by piece as it proceeds. So thank you. Have a good night. Please do not take aspirin because I want you to have a good. No, listen. I want you to have a good weekend. So I don't want to suffocate you tonight. Good night and sleep well.
So
see you on
Monday.
Don't
go. Don't go. So I'm going to give you a bad dream tonight. For you, Jerry Bacon, to come here, one of the creators of George Weir, now with Joseph Boyka. And guess what? Some of us, we saw them, they were no good. They were no good, but you brought them. And then the Liberian people took the decisions, and that's why they rejected him and brought you with the hope to rescue. And guess what you're doing now? You're drowning people while they are alive. Good night, Jerry Washington. Good night.
Mr. So, before you give me good night,
Mr. So, I'm a CPR trainer, so definitely I will give you CPR when it's necessary, so you will never get drowned. I will give you a CPR.
I don't even want because we'll be there.
Let me get pressure. Osman, Mr. So, they got 19 people on sanction list now from the Joseph Parker government. 19. Watch and see. 19 people on sanction listening to the record.
Keto,
You
you
say
not
it was
tired
happy. It's
bro.
not happy
You
yet.
told
You
us
say
say
it's not happy
Keto
yet.
could not
That's a
say
whole.
that the majority black
Huh?
were divided. They
Good
were
night.
going
Good
to
night.
squish.
Good night.
It never happened. Keto, we
Good night.
tired with it.
You
Too
see,
much la
if
la.
you
What
think
you
about it now, go to sleep, man. Go to sleep, man.
Yeah, bye-bye. Good night, folks. I think that one on Radio Connecticut, and I'm announcing it. Okay, folks, we want to thank you so much for your time this evening, and we'll see it by God's will. We're going to be back here during the weekend. The Liberal will be back here on Monday as well. Have a pleasant evening. Bye-bye.